My name is Patricia Sandoval, and back when I was at St. Catherine's, I was Patricia Thomas. Let's see, I joined Mr. Chavez's art class when I was a freshman. And let me see, my years at St. Catherine's was I started as a seventh grader, so it was probably 1967. 1968 68 would have been the first graduated. Let me see, 67, 68, I was there. And graduated in 1973 and was in Mr. Chavez's art class when I was a freshman. Those of us that were in his class, we all became real close, because we were in Chavez's class. We were distinguished as being in Mr. Chavez's class. So I think probably just going down and just hanging out with, like I said, with the other group. I remember I went to St. Catherine's and I interviewed for a job, and of course, as soon as that was done, the first thing I did then was to go see if Mr. Chavez, I could find him, back. So I went back to his classroom, and sure enough, he was there, and I was so happy to see him. I walked in, and I was all proud because I was going to come back, I'm coming back to teach, and I don't know what I expected to hear from him. Probably, oh, I'm glad you're back, or so. But the only thing he said is he looked at me and he smiled and he says, "What took you so long?" That was so funny. I remember just kind of hitting him on the shoulder, and then I gave him a hug, and then it was like old times. It was like I'd never left. We right away we got into the conversation about just catching up. But that was so fun. It's like I said, I don't know what I expected to hear from him, but that's the only thing he ever said. What took you so long? that was it. But it's just such a fond memory, I tell you, of Mr. Chavez. He was such a kind man. He was just a wonderful man. And I think I had shared with you is that, my dad was still living. But my dad and I didn't have a real close relationship. He took care of me. He gave me money when I needed it. But, we were not real close. My dad was just kind of standoffish. And I think when I found Mr. Chavez, I think he was just so kind, so considerate. I think he kind of filled that void that I missed with my dad, that closeness of having a dad. Because honestly, in a lot of ways, he was like my dad. I felt that from him, that nurturing that I had missed from my dad, because that's who Mr. Chavez was. He was such a nurturer, such a kind, wonderful man. Maybe to go back, I wish that it had a chance to go back and say thank you. I think that he didn't realize the impact that he had on a lot of us. That I wish that I had. You don't know. But you wish that you had an opportunity to go back and say thank you and let him know the impact that he had on us.